What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Welcome to the morning bag right here on Pub Sports Radio, coming off a 12-8 plus 3.15 unit night, which means we have secured 7 straight winning days, and we must get 8. We must hit double digits. We must continue this climb. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I am joined alongside, as always, by the backbone of Pub Sports Radio, young Jose Bouquet. I am rocking a game-worn Jose Bouquet hat here.
Yeah, it's a collector's item, one of one.
Yeah, the San Antonio Flying Chanclas. Tell us a little bit about what the hell a chanclas is.
It's a sandal for those looking at Jimmy's head. And I was just talking to Jimmy. In Hispanic heritage, we celebrate the rich history of parents abusing you and throwing sandals at you. So it's a good time when we can respect some Hispanic heritage.
His team is named after beating your children with sandals?
Very much so, yes. And then, of course, there's the Balapino, and then Mama Balapino, who hits the Balapino with her sandal, obviously.
And some people are probably extremely impressed. A game-worn hat. Jose must have played minor league baseball.
Yes, I must have been on the field with minor league baseball players. Yes, I was, as a bat boy. Yes.
So this is a bat boy game-worn hat here.
That's just the semantics that we don't need to get into. The point is, it's a game-worn. That hat was on the field with legends like Ty France, Josh Naylor, Fernando Tatis, you know?
I love it. So a game-worn San Antonio Flying Chanclas hat, rocking it with the Lakers old school jersey. I am on the Lakers today. Shout out to all the cappers joining us. Zane Cole in the house. MLB two-legger, White Sox plus 1.5, and Dodgers moneyline plus 129 banger. We got stacks play today's 1 and 2. Yonder Alvarez over 1.5 bases, and Cavaliers team total over 112.5. Gamma Ray play today is the Red Sox first 5. Nuke says, methinks the Flyers are feeling the pressure. Finally, Nuke. We've been against each other too long in the playoffs thus far. Finally, there is our friend Crystal Craig, Chickadee Sports in the house, and she's gifting a Pub Sports Radio membership. Our guy Dale Fick getting it. Thank you, Crystal. Means a ton to us. Mark Staszowski says, come on, Pens, give me hope. Bring this game back home for Game 7. Sick from the fall, ready to get to work. Christopher Rating, it's our week. It's Derby week. Derby week. And any Derby horses catch your eye. I'm a much ado guy. And I'm still planning everything out. The post is tricky. I mean, the best horses that we believe in this race are going to deal with traffic. There's lots to talk about. Friday night, on our Friday night show, I'm going to give my Kentucky Derby breakdown. And I'm really excited, Christopher, and love capping horses with you. Johnny Guns here says, had a tornado pass right through DFW. Barely missed my house. Pretty wild shit. Well, thank God that you and your family are safe. There's Spooner in the house. Redman says, anyone know the odds on the Ducks getting past the second round? Well, they're certainly going to be favored to win one more hockey game, although I will be betting against them in all of them. Here, they're certainly favored. So, yes, to win the series right now, the Anaheim Ducks are minus 220.
God damn.
The Oilers are plus 180. And again, I don't.
It's all at Game 6, I'm sure. That Game 6 there is going to be massive.
Yeah, I mean, look. And Brian Dust says, further ado wins the 16-17 will take off. That's the plan. Much ado. That's the Brian Dust. So we're going to do a full breakdown here. And I need more time here. So I'm not solidifying, but that further ado, certainly my favorite.
And by the way,
yes,
whose dick do I have to suck to get on a pick 4 with you guys? Can I throw some of my?
You are not welcome. You are not welcome after that opening. You are not welcome.
I've tried.
So find somebody else's dick to suck because ours have been sucked. Thank you very much.
That's fine. I'll look for someone's dick to suck. It won't be hard to find.
Yeah, no, you are not welcome after that. That's how it works. Colin Gregory in the house. Lucky Power ready to get to work. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Walla Walla Dose in the house. All right, so yesterday went well. Yesterday went well. I mean, these aren't great days, but, any day in the black we should be pleased about. And MLB didn't go quite as well as I, really wanted it to go. The Red Sox hurt me for 2 units. There were some spots that were very, very upsetting. Let's just go over my action here very quickly and then roll into the task at hand. Went 9-7 plus 1.15 units in MLB. Guardians lost. The Yankees, Texas under 7.5 cash. Tampa Bay, Cleveland, first 3 under 2.5 cash. San Francisco, Philly under 8 cash. Red Sox, first 3 lost. Mets -1 cashed. New York, Yankees, Texas, first 3 under 2 cashed. Royals, first 5 lost. Rangers, first 5 lost. Phillies -1 cashed. Red Sox lost. Padres lost. Miami, LA Dodgers, first 3 under 2 cashed at plus money. Washington, New York Mets under 8.5 cashed. Detroit, Atlanta over 8.5 lost, but I did cash on the over 6.5 live, which cashed. I couldn't believe it cashed. I'd kind of given up on it. And then Brewers cashed. In the NBA, 2-0 day. 76ers first quarter +4 cashed. First half +7 pushed. -6 for the Knicks cashed. We're 5-0 in the Hawks-Knicks series. And then in the National Hockey League, Bruins first period just got too cute. I might be doing that again here with my first period under in Philadelphia, Pittsburgh. Too bad. It is what it is. Oilers -1 was a sit back and smile. Casher. We got Redman on Rays, first 5. Michael Johnson in the house. Mr. Sparkle ready to get to work. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Mr. Jose Bouquet, a big, beautiful card awaiting our analysis. Set the table. Hit leadoff for us, and let's get this money. Let's go for 8. We're going for our 8th straight winning day. And after the start to the year that I had, this is extremely important. So let's be locked in. Let's be smart. Let's be sharp. Let's take our time. Move briskly, but take our time. Diligent and sharp. Let's go.
All right. We're refreshing all of our sites here as well. So as always, we can have the most accurate information. But let's start off with Drew Rasmussen versus Gavin Williams. Drew Rasmussen, a modern medical miracle with his 4 Tommy Johns. I think it's actually 3 Tommy Johns, but not many players can get through those. Shout out to Spencer Schreider here. I'm a little refreshing our wager talk board, and it seems like that is not up today as of right now. So let me know, guys, in the chat if it's working for you. But I can tell you that there's been a 2-cent movement towards Cleveland, or towards the Rays, I should say. -110 now. It was -112 opener. Even got up to -117 at one point. But it's not really moved too much in that respect. Not juiced. Let me see here. 7, actually. It was a 7 juiced to the under -115. So not that juiced. Is now a 6.5 across the board. So expecting both these guys to pitch well, and I'm sure some run-suppressing weather today.
Yeah, we're expecting a bounce-back start from Gavin Williams. We were fortunate to catch the first half in full game just because Scherzer was absolutely terrible in that last start. But Gavin Williams didn't look good, so we're expecting a bounce-back start at home. We have 55% of the tickets on Tampa, 68% of the cash is on the Guardians, 67% of tickets on the under, and 63% cash on the under. It opens up very low and gets lower. Shout out to Matty Ice in the house. Taint play today. Dodgers run line. I'm on it. Troy's on it. We are on it right there with you. I can't wait to talk about it here. I can't wait to talk about it. Got to copy and paste more action. We got 9 Legacies action coming in here as well. The rain doesn't look like it's going to be a problem here in this game. The rain does look like it's going to be a problem in the Phillies game, unfortunately. But Rasmussen's an absolute monster. 2.45 ERA, 2.65 xERA. You were talking about the run-suppressing weather here, and it is -14% runs, -21% homers, -10% doubles and triples, -5% singles. This was the first night where I was trying to stay awake long enough for the first threes to open up, and they didn't. They weren't available for me. 2 a.m. comes, it's not available for me, and at some point, I'm not very, very thankful that I'm not dealing with insomnia right now, and it was important to try and feel good, So I went to sleep, and then I bet these first threes in the morning. At the time, you could still get an under 7. I didn't want the under 7. I still have some concerns, with the Rays against right-handed pitching, 256, 735 OPS. I still have some concerns about really what we saw from Gavin Williams in Toronto, and I have concerns about both bullpens, although I expect both bullpens to progress Here, Braves bullpen 5.18 ERA, 1.41 WHIP. Guardians bullpen 4.57 ERA, 1.29 WHIP. Gavin Williams 3.28 ERA, 1.09 WHIP, 4.10 xERA. So for me, very comfortably, just on the first 3 under 2 at minus 122. My first 3 unders got off to a terrible start. They're heating up. It's very crucial to my success. So first 3 under 2 at minus 122. My only action in this one, Jose.
All right, we roll on. White Sox, Angels here. Next on our board, we've got Yusei Kikuchi versus Eric Fetty on the bump here.
I love this pitching matchup.
Yeah, we've talked about hundreds of times, it feels like at this point. I'm instinctively clicking on to Wager Talk to see their splits, but we still have none right now.
I have them all up. I'm not entirely sure what's going on with yours.
Well, let me refresh one more time. Yeah, I don't have them up here. Well, I will let you do that for this one while I keep refreshing here. I'm sure it'll probably pop up again on my screen here soon. But minus 115 is where we're at right now, and that's where it opened at. It did get up to minus 125 at one point at BetOnline, now down 10 cents. From that number, Heritage has a minus 121, got up to minus 127, and it opened up at a minus 120. Jimmy, take it away. I'm going to keep vigorously refreshing.
Shout out to my guy, Super True Story. Thank you for the kind words. And by the way, on that over 6.5, I really enjoyed our breakdown of the card last night. Really feels like I've got the rhythm now of the foundation being set on the night show. And then in the morning, there's a sense of calm of which I've never had. Going over all. Sorry?
Was it like this in Costa Rica?
Costa Rica was very, very difficult to handle. You know, the starting out with the 2 shows a day. I started waking up at 3:45 in the morning just because that was the only time I could find peace and calm. You know,
and
because
then
I think
see your monkeys.
Yes, that's true. But I think it's really important to have a sense of calm when you're putting your action in. So much of my career, I've been panicky when I'm putting my action in. So often, you know, I'll see a line move in my direction, be like, oh God, I haven't bet yet. You know, like it's just not working. So here, I think, look, I did not get off to a good start this in 2026. I thought that as soon as I got back from San Antonio, I'd start running shop just like we did last year, and that didn't happen. So this is the best run I've been on all year, and it's imperative that I continue it. So I'm starting to get more comfortable with the schedule. And here in this spot, I knew the situation. I knew it. I knew that Kikuchi and Fetty are thought of as gas cans. And maybe Kikuchi wasn't last year or the year before. He was a highly sought after free agent after that 2024 season. And he had a good year last year, 3.99 ERA, 1.42 WHIP, walks, too many batters. He started out the year poorly, 6.21 ERA, 4.93 xERA, but there's no getting around. He started out the year poorly. That last start, 6-3 loss at the Royals, he was in complete control until the 5th inning, which is something the same thing with Alcantara, who was in complete control until that 5th inning with the Giants. Now, we doubled up on Alcantara's last start. We'll get into that Dodgers game much later. Here, Fetty is pitching really well again. You know, he was horrible last year, and he was passed around, started with the Cards. They believed in him, and then he looked terrible. Then he went to Atlanta, and then he went to Milwaukee, and he just didn't look good. 5.49 ERA, 1.52 WHIP. So far this year, he looks good. 3.42 ERA, 1.14 WHIP. Now, his K-to-walk ratio is always going to be a problem, but he gets off contact, and 3.42 ERA, 3.75 xERA. The White Sox hit lefties, and they hit him with power, which is a concern. Leroy Flood on the White Sox money line. Nuclear says Kikuchi should never be a minus 125 favorite ever. I get all of that. But for me, I'm staying away from the bullpens. I knew the public would be heavily on the over, and they are. We have 71% of the tickets on the over, but just 53% of the cash. I couldn't bet the first 3 last night. I was trying to, wait for it. It wasn't going to become available for whatever reason. They were holding off. I knew that the first 3 under was going to be expensive, and it shouldn't be. And so when I went this morning to 365 to look at the first 3 lines, I said to myself, well, what am I looking for? And I said, if it's minus 105 or plus 100 to the under, that's what it should be. Then I can sit and really make a decision. And I went and it was minus 115 to the under, first 3 under 2.5 with the public all over the old over in these gas cans on the mound. So I knew what I was going to do. It was very, very easy at that point. Right field has somewhat run suppressing weather, minus 5% runs, minus 10% homers, minus 11% doubles and triples, and plus 4% singles. And look, believing in Kikuchi and Eric Fetty is not for the faint of heart. But I just feel like these bets that I knew the public would be on the other side, everything, all the boxes were kind of ticked. And so I bet it. I'm on the first three under 2.5. Spooners on Angels money line says, I think Ella's favorite pitcher is going to deal. I think he can as well. Solution says White Sox are actually competitive this season. I like that look on the Angels. I'm very comfortable just trusting these guys for 3 innings. And our guy Nasty Nate in the house, for me, it's just the first 3 under 2 in Tampa Bay, Cleveland. First 3 under 2. I built that at minus 122 is expensive. And here I'm on the first 3 under 2.5 minus 115, Jose. I can't wait to start my day with these unders, these first 3 unders. It historically last year it was really working in the afternoon. Once we got to Wednesday, to expect some slower starts in the afternoon games on travel days was really working, and I hope it does here. So first 3 under 2.5 minus 115, Jose.
I'll quickly mention there's 75% of the bets on the over, 52% of the money on the under in that game, 65% of the bets on the White Sox, 70% of the money on the Angels. In that one here. By the way, 71 and 81 on the under in the last game as well.
Yep.
There. All right, next, Seattle Mariners, Minnesota Twins. Next on our board here, and shout out to Wager Talk for fixing itself. George Kirby versus Taj Bradley. Again, 2 pitchers that we are higher on in this program here. Admittedly, I do have a little bit of a negative connotation towards George Kirby just because my buddy took him. I don't think he took him yard double. I think it was double and a single. So he owns them, which just makes me laugh personally. But minus 130 is the opener. Minus 127 is what we sit at here. I'm a little surprised this is as low as it is for the Seattle Mariners. Honestly, I would expect closer to minus 140, minus 150. I know that Taj Bradley has been very good this year. Maybe that's just a lot of respect for him in the market, but I don't know. It's just a little surprised by that. 57% of the bets on Seattle, 57% of the money on Minnesota here. And total wise, 7.5 has not moved at all. We have 58% of the bets and 77% of the money on the under in this game. Pretty surprising, this total, but what do you think?
Why I'm with AM. We both couldn't quite understand why it opened at 8. The core George Kirby's been spectacular. Taj Bradley had been spectacular before we maybe got a glimpse of why he wasn't wanted by the Rays. I mean, that was a start that meant so much to him. He'd been spectacular all year long, and he allows 4 home runs and 6 earned runs. I was impressed that he stayed around for 6 1/3. He battled. I'm a huge George Kirby backer. I backed him. He took a lot of heat from the chat last year with the slow start, starting the year with an injury. And I, for whatever reason, became very defensive. And, am I lying? Am I lying? A friend of the show told me how he was going to get lit up last start, inferring that he's trash. And so I copied and pasted it. For whatever reason, I don't know why I'm so defensive. Kirby was spectacular again last start. 6 innings, 2 earned runs, walk 1. Now he's not getting a ton of strikeouts, but it's just not really the way he handles things. Wine time on the Twins money line. So I just think, first off, the total messed me up yesterday. I couldn't understand the number, and then the same thing happening here today. And then the line not moving towards Kirby. Implying that we're going to see a nice start from Taj Bradley. There are some games and even target field for whatever reason. 51 Fahrenheit, 8 miles per hour has been. I found it tricky to really scorecast there, and so target field minus 11% runs, minus 21% homers, minus 6% doubles and triples, minus 1% singles. Why did it open at 8? It shouldn't have. So of course it was going to get pounded at 8 to the 7.5, and we said this was all going to happen, and this is what happened. I'm very uncomfortable with this game. At the 8, they were implying one of these pitchers is going to get lit up. And then the line was moving. And we would say, well, I would guess that's Taj Bradley. But the line's moving towards Taj Bradley slightly. And we've seen Taj Bradley shoving at home. He's been spectacular at home. So all said and done, I'm just off the game.
All right. Nothing for me either. Fun game to watch, though, and I will be tuned in. Hopefully, Taj Bradley keeps it up so we can keep moving on him in the future. Yankees versus the Rangers here, and a game I saw Jimmy very interested in. We have a debut, correct, for the Yankees. I've already forgot his first name here for the Yankees here, but I'll talk about my guy, Nasty Nate. Shout out to you, Nasty Nate. And Evaldi here, and it's Elmer. By the way, I forgot. I knew it was something ridiculous, but Elmer Rodriguez here. Elmer sounds like an 80-year-old man. He's a former Red Sox as well, by the way, for people wondering. His last few
All good young pitchers are.
I'm just gonna move on from that comment. 5 2/3. Garrett Whitlock. That's all I have to say. Garrett Whitlock, 5 2/3, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 7 Ks, 1 walk. 5 2/3, 2 hits, 6 Ks, 2 walks, and 5 innings, 5 Ks, 2 walks there. It's a little bit of control issues, but he's racking up the strikeouts to make up for it. So he should be pretty decent. He's their second ranked prospect, 53rd in their system. Eovaldi here, who you mentioned yesterday was a Yankees killer. I'm fascinated to see what he's got left in the tank. 6 innings, 6 earned runs against the A's last time out is not great. But I will say it wasn't a back-to-back, but it was. They faced the A's on the 13th, 7 shutout innings. He faces them again on the 24th. Probably didn't change it up, it seems like, enough, and got crushed because of it. Minus 120 for the Yankees is now down to minus 116, minus 111 at Bookmaker here. Opened up there at minus 117 there. And we have 62% of the bets and 75% of the money on the New York Yankees.
Yes, Elmer has been unbelievable, absolutely spectacular, unhittable. I think it's tricky when you deliver that kind of look. 22-year-old right-hander, 0.89 whip, 1.27 ERA through 21 in the third, and gets an opportunity to start, and probably to start again if it's good enough, if he's okay, next week before Rodon and Garrett Cole return. This is not me giving an idea about Elmer Rodriguez. Now, I think it was important that you noted with Eovaldi that those first 2 starts against both the Mariners and A's were lights out. And then when he saw them again, within a week and a half, then that's when he got touched. So I think that is very important to note. Secondly, here, now look, we saw J.R. Ritchie, shove in that first start. I think there's some similarities there. And there's people who are extremely high on Elmer. And, Spooner being one. Here it says ground ball guy can touch 97 with the sinker. It says had control issues when he was drafted. Add a little weight every year. He's over 180 pounds in spring training. Showed improvement in control.
So he's fat spoons is what I'm hearing. He's tubby. He's a fat tubby. I just moved on the Rangers, by the way, even money.
If he and Robert Frank on the Yankees money line, for me, I just don't really think that it works like that in Major League Baseball. That you can be absolutely the best pitcher in a system for 3 starts, and then you get your first opportunity. Is that Yankee Stadium where you might have some comfort? No. It's a Globe Life Field where you've never pitched, most likely, unless he was in that All-Star game where he was, the young stars were playing the night before. So with all of this being said here, this is where I want to fade. When you've been that good, that dominant. And remember, Spooner was concerned about the location, and he's got a 0.89 whip. It's not because he's getting hit. It's because he's walked 7 batters over the 21 and a third. So I am challenging here this phenomenal young pitcher to not walk too many batters against the Texas Rangers in a stadium he's never pitched in before. And I really like the spot. So I doubled up on the Rangers. And I'm going to challenge. This is something I'll do quite often. I'm going to challenge Wilbur. I know Matty Ice, he's given us his play today. His team play today. But I assume this is his wheelhouse. This is where he opens up. These are 4-figure bets for Matty Ice. And Goon Collector says Yankees will back this kid. Yeah, so maybe bet the over. Because I do not believe this is going to be a walk in the park, and I will be very comfortable to eat these words. It's just not going to be easy for him. And everything's been so easy for him. So now let's see. You face this Rangers lineup. This Rangers lineup is hitting right now, hitting righties. Prove it. You prove it. I'll bet against you. So that's what I've done. I'm on the Rangers first 5, -108, full game, +100. And I'm excited. I don't, it's not comfortable going up against Spoons, but I think it's pretty easy. A Goon Collector says, I'll take that bet. You eat those words. He gives up 2 runs tops. Yeah, I bet you gives up 2 runs in 2 1/3. So let's roll on.
All right, let's roll on. I moved on him even money is what I got.
It's very easy to romanticize baseball. It's very easy. I made this mistake a lot. It's just extremely easy. So I can understand why anybody will romanticize this kid coming up, pitching in a stadium he's never pitched in after dominating in Wilkes-Barre. So I try very hard to be consciously not romanticize situations, and I'm not romanticizing this one. So let's roll.
Red Sox, Blue Jays. Speaking of romanticizing baseball here, the most important start of Brian Bayo's life right here, right now. He has been fucking terrible this whole year. And Jimmy, I can tell you, nobody in this organization believes in this guy anymore. The first domino to fall in that was the playoff game last year when he got into a little trouble against the Yankees. Immediate pull. A guy has pitched well against the Yankees in his life. And this year, he's been awful, just awful. And coming off the worst start of his career. And now this is the start. This is very much a new manager. So Cora is not there to back him anymore. So this is the start. He pitches well here. He gets another start. He doesn't pitch well here. He gets crushed. He's probably back to AAA. And he has options left on his deal. So his ass will be sent down to AAA, and Peyton Tolley will take his spot. So, man, I think that motivation psychology spot is very interesting. By the way, Brian Bayo even said that this is the toughest stretch of his career after his last outing, which I don't know. I don't know. We're about to find out a lot about him. 53% of the bets, 56% of the money on the Red Sox here. Line is trickling towards them. -128 at BetOnline is what it opened up at. It got up to -132. It is now -123 at BetOnline. Heritage showing -129, opening up at -131, and it got up to -134. Shout out to Nuke. I saw Nuke is on the Red Sox. I think that was the first 5 bet for his Gamma Ray play of the day. I understand it. On the other side, we have Eric Lauer, who I've liked backing as a spot start guy that probably is going to get lined as a really shitty pitcher, but he's not that bad. Issue obviously with him today is he's the favorite, and I don't love that if I'm backing Eric Lauer. And the issue, if you want to back the Red Sox, is that they are not a good offensive team and been bad against lefties. Jimmy, we talked about before the start of this season, who are the guys going to kill lefties on this team? Because Rob Restnider gone, Bregman gone, Devers gone, and they were all the 3 best hitters against lefties. Romy Gonzalez also gone, another good hitter against lefties. 92 weighted runs created plus this month against lefties, which isn't awful, but still not good. It's a tough game, Jimmy. I'd love to hear what the chat has to say. That, by the way, there's 53% of the bets and 67% of the money on the over.
I'm with the thought that this is a very tough game. Lauer has not looked good to start the year. 6.75 ERA. He's got 4.54 xERA, 6.48 FIP, 5.63 xFIP. I mean, it's not. He's had a tough start of the year. He doesn't look good at home. The Twins got to him in his last home start. He's had 2 road starts since then. The books are slightly moving the line towards the Red Sox. And if you want the Jays, it's gonna cost you -123 at Pinnacle. If you want him just first 5 against Bayo, it's cheaper. And So that's throwing me for a loop. The books aren't sitting here saying, "Oh, he's vulnerable." Now the totals climbed slightly, but I just Newkirk says the only reason Lauer is pitching is because of the Jays' injuries, and he's been so good, Newkirk, but he's just not believed in. We talk about what does that mean? It means that the people with all of the information don't trust him that much, and that was the reason why we faded Anthony Kay. We're like, look, they've used the primary for him twice. They pushed him back a start. They clearly don't believe in Anthony Kay despite what he did in Asia last year. And so we should trust those guys who have all of the information. I'm off of this spot here. I need to learn about Bayo. I need to learn about Lauer. Even though I feel like I know Lauer, this is not a comfortable spot where I can. I'm also lost 2 units on the Red Sox yesterday. Didn't have to. Was late to the party, but just on time for the funeral. And that's playing in my head as well, of course. So I think it's best just to stay off this game. My subconscious is saying the Red Sox burnt you. They're trash. Bayo's trash. Fade them. And we know my subconscious is an asshole. Got me in a lot of trouble. So I'm off the spot, Jose.
I'm going to move on the Red Sox first 5 with you, Nuke Worker. Shout out to you. And I'm going to take the full game under 8.5 here as well. Minus 110 even money on each of those. Total is minus 110. First 5 even money. All right. Next on our board here, we've got Miami Marlins, Los Angeles Dodgers. Jimmy, God damn it. Obviously yesterday was one of those moments where I'm like, I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, you are still a fucking terrible gambler. You are fucking such an ass clown. Because the whole show I was sitting there, I was like, man, Jansen Junk, just you could bet a first 5 plus a half and just be fine. And just roll off with that. And the fact that the Marlins go and close the game when their whole bullpen was exhausted, 2-1. Unbelievably angry it made me. But here we are again with the lowest line that we've had it for them here. Because obviously Sandy Alcantara is on the bump versus Tyler Glass now, who now is an old man pitcher, which feels weird to say that.
And a phenomenal pitcher.
Yes.
Has he ever been better than he is right now?
I mean, he's not definitely. I've been a Glass now fan. It's finally. Because he was a big sticky stuff guy, as we all remember here. Huge sticky stuff guy. And he finally seems like he's figured his shit out a little bit more. 7, 8 innings in his last 2 appearances. Domination against the Giants and the Rockies. I don't expect the Marlins to do much against him. And like you said, Jimmy, if you're going to bet the Dodgers, which I don't blame people that do, at least bet against them or bet on them against really good pitchers like Sandy so you can get a cheap line. So I'll stay off this game, and I'll just quickly mention that there are, as we look for the total information, there we go, 70% of the bets and 89% of the money on the Dodgers, 90 and 92 on the under in here.
Yeah, this is. I spent so long on this game, man. It's so funny. I was literally just staring at it, going over it for 30 minutes straight this morning, and Troy sent me a message during it, and the message, we would have probably guessed once we got here, but this was the message from the great Troy Torrance. You got to catch the show Tuesday, Thursdays, closing line 5 p.m. It's so great. This was the message from Troy Torrance. It's no surprise it's a cash cow. I've been battling here with a few different things. One, I believe in Alcantara, and I always have. And I know we haven't seen it year after year after year. We had for a while. I think he looks great this year. He got touched up in the 5th inning of that last start against the Giants, and, he's been dominant at home and somewhat questionable on the road. I've been battling with AM over whether Alcantara can get out lefties, and I say he can. I mean, sure, he's dominant against righties, 200, 531 OPS, lefties, 236, 688 this year. We've gone over this, so I don't need to hit it again. But in 2025 versus lefties, he was allowed them to hit 230, 721 against them. The righties only hit righties hit 262, but with a little less power, 708. Like, so I don't have any problem with lefties. I don't think that he's terrible on the road either. I mean, I know when we go through his game log right now, you'll see the road starts that were trouble. And it's really just one. He's only had 2 road starts this year. So he got lit up by the Tigers. You know, he'd been lights out going into that. And then he was lights out. So I really wanted the first 3 under. I really did. But, you know, literally, if Alcantara allows 2 runs, I think I cash it because Glasnow's not allowing any. But, the Dodgers bats are uptight right now. They need to break out. Maybe, so when it's all said and done, I did move just on the Dodgers run line at minus 101. And it's not only the cash cow. This is the corner of Cow and Taint Boulevard.
Wow.
This is Moo Taint right here. This is Moo Taint. Taint play the day is Dodgers on the run line. It's funny. Truth Teller says Dodgers run line was the first bet he saw on the board. Ended up feeling too easy, so he didn't move on it. So that's funny because it's not been cashing. So that's why I think it's time to move on it. Honestly, they've won two of their last 5 games. They could have lost them all. The only one that they kind of won comfortably was the Glasnow versus Alcantara start. And what was that? 3-0 was the final score, 3-1. So the run lines haven't been cashing. We're gonna have Ohtani back in the lineup, we expect, and I'm going to roll with this here. I'm going to roll with it. So I really want that first 3 under 2.5. I don't think I need it. But I want it. We're going to slight move to the under. At this point, I'm only on the Dodgers run line. I'm going to try to stay off. It would really bother me, if it was 3-0 after 3 innings and the Dodgers are all set up to cover the run line and I've lost. I'm playing behind. So at this point, Kong calling it the crotch beef. Crotch beef.
Wow, that is vivid.
Crotch beef. But I'm on Dodgers run line, minus 1.5, minus 101. I'm rolling with Taint. I'm rolling with our guy Troy Torrance as well. So let's get it.
I'm jumping in the car with crotch beef as well, minus 105 for me. Marlins bullpen exhausted. They get the win last night. That was their World Series. They get smacked in the fucking mouth tonight. Let's go Padres Cubs. God.
And let's speed up here. We're running a little behind. It's my fault, but let's speed up.
Got me in the bottom mouth last night, Jimmy. Got me in the old chocolate starfish this game did.
Oh, God, I was trying to drink coffee at that.
Jameson, you taught me these words. Jameson Taillon versus Marcus Waldron here. I would not know what a chocolate starfish if it wasn't for Jimmy the Bag. Just remember that, everyone.
It is my fault, but
60% of the bets, 76% of the money on the Chicago Cubs here, fading Marcus Waldron. And line slightly coming back towards him here, but I admittedly want to fade him here again as well. I'm seeing this line open up at minus 115 at BetOnline for about 40 minutes. It was there. Then I went back to minus 105 each way, and now it's minus 111 Cubs from there. Jimmy, what'd you think?
Well, I love this baseball game. Let me start there. I love it. And look, I was the first to question Waldron despite him having good AAA numbers this year because we knew how trash he was last year. And so I was sitting here going, well, what do we know about this baseball game? One, we know the public is going to fade Waldron here. Certain of it. And that's exactly what's happening. They're backing Taillon. If you look at xERA, Taillon and Waldron have had the same season. Now, it's hard to, put that, conceptualize it because Taillon's got a 1.30 whip. Waldron is a 2.31 whip. And so what would I want from Waldron? If I was like, okay, well, he's not pitching very well. He was terrible last year. He didn't get a chance to pitch in the majors. He didn't make the team out of spring training. And then he's lights out in AAA in the Pacific Coast League, a really tough place to pitch. So if I was like, okay, if Waldron is capable of pitching well, what have we not seen from him? One, we haven't seen him at home. We haven't seen him at Petco. That should help him being at Petco here, being a ballpark that he's used to and comfortable with. And then knowing that the public was going to be fading Waldron, and we're going into the game saying, okay, well, we know this is going to happen. 60% of tickets, 76% of the cash, on Tyon. Well, this line is not moved really. Nobody's concerned of all this money coming in on Tyon. We know that Tyon so we know the Cubs bullpen is messed, exhausted, hurt. So we have a huge advantage in the bullpen. And then according to xERA, according to some analytics, we have two pitchers that are delivering the exact same job on the mound, but nobody's going to believe that because all anybody's going to see is that Waldron has a 12.46 ERA, 2.31 whip. I put this all together and I was like, this could be the best bet on the board. So I'm on the Padres plus 101.
I respect that. I will consider being on the Padres here with you, indeed. But man, they got me in the bottom mouth last night, so I'm a little dubious. But
that works perfectly. Everybody who was on the Padres last night or moved live on them or etc. is going to be not going to back them there and want to fade them. They're subconsciously going to tell them to fade them. I look again. I'm backing a pitcher who's been a gas can through 2 starts, so I could be so wrong. This could just be a terrible, terrible take.
But that's your wheelhouse.
This is it. This is absolutely we said exactly what was going to happen in the marketplace. Everything is going exactly according to what we said was going to happen. Now, did we scorecast it correctly is what's left to be decided. So I think it's a fantastic bet.
All right. Well, beautiful. I'll see if I'll move on that one with you here. Astros, Orioles here. We have our old friend Pete Lambert. That's what he's on this. That's what he's called on this show. Damn it. Chris Bassett on the other side here. Now, whenever I think of old Peter Lambert here, I just think he's a gas cannon. It makes me laugh because he's an Astro now and he used to be a Rocky. But at Cleveland, 6 innings of shutout ball, 8 Ks, 3 walks. He has 8 Ks, 1 walk, and his start before that too. So his stuff is moving, and he's not walking people, which is pretty impressive, and makes me think that he can come out here and pitch not bad against Chris Bassett, who, again, it's still early, and as Pete would say, the trenbolone and all that stuff is still in effect, but wait until later in the year, perhaps, and I will be fading him start in and start out as he's getting old. 5 innings, 5 1/3, 5 earned runs in his last appearance, 5 shutout innings against the Guardians. He's given up quite a few runs in his starts, but when he's good, he's good. So it's interesting. He's 13 walks to 10 strikeouts, Jimmy. It's not often you have a starting pitcher with more walks than strikeouts in the major leagues here, especially Chris Bassett, who is not blowing you away with his speed. So if he's not locating his pitches, then it's getting ugly here for our boy Chris Bassett. Market-wise in this game, we have, where are you, Baltimore? 78% of the bets and 65% of the money on Pete Lambert here. Line has not moved all that much. Minus 123 and minus 125 opener. It did get down to minus 115 for Baltimore, and it came right back up, which is kind of the indication Chris Bassett might be live to pitch well here. Bovada opened this up minus 120. It's now minus 128 there. And Baltimore opened up at minus 113 at Bookmaker. It's now minus 120 there. Wasn't minus 125, but still.
Yeah, everything you said, this is great setup here for us. Great setup. So line's moving towards the Astros. Now, it is 16 cents more expensive. Line's moving towards the Orioles. It is 16 cents more expensive to back the Astros first 5.
God damn. That's crazy.
And I wanted, discuss that. Also, though, more important, stacks play today in this one. Number 1 is Yonder Alvarez over 1.5 bases. Shout out to our guy, Justin McKelvey.
Stacks, 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 stacks.
I've watched
I
a
miss
lot.
Justin, by the way.
Say what, my man?
I miss Justin.
Yeah, well, we're going to see more of them. Don't worry. We're going to be discussing.
I miss Justin because he's the only guest that asks you how you're doing, Jimmy, every time.
Oh, he's just class act.
Nice
man.
guy.
Oh, he's money. He's dominating. You see what he's doing on the sesh? 17-8-1. I mean, he's a beast. He makes our community so much stronger. But here in this spot, I've watched Jimmy and Pete Lambert pitch a lot, and they're bad. And Pete Lambert, both Lambert brothers cost me money anytime I backed them.
I was about to say, who the fuck is Jimmy Lambert? But I didn't know he had a brother.
Oh yeah, two brothers made the show, and Pete Lambert threw 93 miles an hour, always 92, 93. So then he voids out of his contract because he doesn't make the Astros, as we've talked about already. So saying I believe in myself, let me play for someone else, and then they get an injury and they say no, pitch for us, everything's fine, and
come back, it's fine.
And he throws 95, and I'm like, Jesus, okay. And then against the Guardians, last start he threw 97.5, 97.6, and the difference between Pete Lambert throwing 97 and 93 is massive. It's absolutely massive. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He didn't have a job to start the year. He hasn't, for a lot of his career, he's been questioned because of injuries, because of thin air in Colorado. His career ERA is 6.6 or something like that. It's the mark of the beast, man. And he is making up for lost time. So, the Astros bullpen's trash. Orioles have a big advantage there. That's probably part of the 16-cent difference is the bullpen. And maybe Bassett turns it on. Maybe Bassett steps up. I'm not saying that he's incapable of doing that. 6.75 ERA, 2.06 whip, 6.25 xERA. Pete Lambert, 3.27 ERA, 1.27 whip, 2.94 xERA. Look, I've never seen him pitch like this ever in my life. And let's see if he can do it again. I'll be staring at that radar gun. Let's see if he can do it again. If he does it again, it's a great bet. So Astros first 5 minus 108 for me. You can get a better line now because this line's moved in the opposite direction. So now the Astros are plus 112 full game. First 5, they're minus 104. So you can get a better line now. Shout out to our guy Dutch Boy Fresh. I'm riding with Dutch on the Lakers here. So shout out to our guy Dutch Boy Fresh, who can be seen today and every day through Monday through Friday alongside Dabby Cab, the Magic Man, on Pub Culture TV. We get them 5 days a week. We're very lucky, man. Starting our day with those two guys, man, gets your day off to a great start. So shout out. And it was a great show. These guys are all business, man. This is not it's
you don't hear that often from Cab and Dutch.
Have you been watching the show? They're a business. Now, yes, they're smoking blunts, but man, they're business. They've got angles. We got graphics. It's tight. They've studied the games. They're giving you angles that are going to catch. Like it's
they're dressed in the nines as well, Jimmy.
It's just quality programming, and it's 30 minutes. It's bang, 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 bang. I mean, it's no fat, all protein, man. Oh, the coolest POD in the house. It's almost college football season when we see the coolest pod in the house. It is great to see you, man. Shout out to Auburn football. Thank you for joining us. Troy Torrance says, I'm late. Did we all move on to Cash Cow? Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did move on the Dodgers. So let's roll on. And my fault again that we're taking too long. It's just, goddamn, do I want to sit and cap with you guys for 5 hours a day? But I know that this is going to help us, and I'm down in the 2 days, and I can make this work. Sometimes I'm sitting here, we've won 7 straight days. I just want to sit here and break these games down in every single conceivable way. But let's roll on. Let's roll on.
We've got Reds Rockies next on our board here as I look for it on my board, and I'm blind as a bat. Sugano versus Williamson here, lefty in Williamson, who I don't love, but he's a lefty against lefty. Colorado Rockies, 56 weighted runs created plus, worst in baseball against Sugano, who I know is a righty. I'm going to click there. There we go. I'm looking at the wrong. There we go. Finally fixed it. Against Rocky, the righties, Cincinnati is 88 weighted runs created plus, 24th. Now, I mean, the Great American Small Park is an offensive friendly ballpark, but Both of these offenses are terrible against each other's hand. It's a 9.5 juice to the under already. Bookmaker is showing a 9 juice to the over there. I kind of do like the under just based off the offense's inability to score against these hands. For the market here, we have 80% of the bets, 95% of the money on the over, and 50-50 ticket split, 92% of the money on the Rockies.
Yeah, I'm just going over again here. I should separate it, and I will do that after. But as a guess, first fives, full games, first threes. How many overs do you think I've bet so far this year? I'm about 390 bets in.
3.
Okay.
I think I remember at least 2 of them because I remember being shocked.
Oh, that was a loss there. Okay,
I'm going to bet the under in this game while you do that, Jimmy. The Rockies, Reds. Love to hear you guys in the chat, but I'm going to believe in the numbers against weighted runs created plus against these offenses. Everyone betting the over in this game. It didn't really move down because it's a juiced under anyways, and if it goes to a juiced over, it's basically the same thing, but I like the under in this game. I'm going to move on it under 9.5 minus 120.
I bring it up because Matty Ice tails my overs because I don't bet them. So I've made 14 bets this year in baseball on overs. I'm 10-4 on them, and I'm on the first 5 over 5.
Wow,
with Sugano and Williamson.
Man,
Williamson had Tommy John in 2025, and he does not look good. And we saw a really good start at the Twins, and are we going to see more of it? And we're not. And even in that really good start, it's 2 Ks and 4 walks. He's 5.4 ERA, 1.52 WHIP. He's walked more batters than he struck out, and his xERA is 6.97. So he's just not looking good. Sugano has looked very good, and he's been very fortunate. 3.42 ERA, 1.14 WHIP. His xERA is 6.05. I'm pretty high on Sugano. I think he can get soft contact, but and then we have these excellent bullpens, very, very strong bullpens. You have a Rockies team that's not hitting lefties with any power. You have a Reds team that's not hitting righties with any power. So thankfully here, you're not going to need that much power when you're just walk after walk after walk in this one. Then we talk about the weather here, and it's pretty good. Plus 5% runs, plus 11% homers, plus 1% doubles, triples, minus 4% singles. So Sugano and Brandon Williamson. I mean, I would just. So look, let's talk about Williamson's last 3 starts. He's walked 13 batters. We know that Sugano, there's going to be no strikeouts in this game. It's going to be a battle, and they're going to get to the bullpen early. So I think that these 2 pitchers are vulnerable, and that we have incredible bullpens. We have teams that aren't hitting with power. So of course it would lead you to an under. Lucky Power's got the power, man. I almost started singing it, and thank God I didn't. But I'm on the first 5 over 5 minus 120, Jose, and I love the flat 5, so the push is in play. Let's roll.
Well, hopefully we can both cash. I'm on the under 9.5 here. And by the way, Jimmy, write it down. Jake Burns putting WNBA futures in the chat. Georgia Amore to win Rookie of the Year, plus 1,000.
Oh, wow, that's dope. I will.
Shout out to you, Jake Burns. WNBA starting soon, I think.
May 9th or so.
Something like that. Yeah, I saw Caitlin Clark out there running around. Phillies Giants next on our board here. We have got, and by the way, shout out to the Phillies for slapping the Giants in the mouth yesterday and cashing that for -1 for us there. Webb versus Christopher Sanchez, 68% of the bets on the Phillies, 51% of the money on the Gigantes here, 70% of the bets on the over, 70% of the money on the over as well here. God, is Dave Dombrowski just the most transparent human on this earth? I know Don Mattingly is not going to give a fuck because he's old baseball guy. He doesn't care about when fucking Dave Dombrowski comes out and says, "Oh yeah, we tried to hire Alex Cora. He just wanted to stay with his family. We put the full court press on him." And Don Mattingly's in his office like, oh well, he probably doesn't give a fuck. So if it was anyone else, any other manager going in there, I'd be like, we got to fade this asshole. This guy the general manager said, I don't want this asshole managing my team. But Donnie Baseball doesn't give a fuck. I find it interesting that Webb is such a big underdog here. Is a pretty exorbitant line in my opinion. Only can make me lean towards the Phillies again here. Maybe that wakes up the whole lineup. Phillies fans were pretty happy about the firing. I talked to a few and they said Rob Thompson's the worst manager ever. And then one responded with he's like 3 division titles. He won the National League and blah blah blah. And I was like, God damn, the Phillies fans are revolting right now. So I don't know. I'll be fascinated to watch what this Phillies team does. I think Don Mattingly is a good enough manager to step in here and do okay for the rest of the season. But I wasn't high on this Phillies team going into the season. I'm not high on them now. So today it'd be Phillies or nothing. What do you think, Jimmy?
I would like to bet this baseball game. The problem is the light rain starts at first pitch and the full rain is starting at 8 p.m. and it's going to rain all night. So I want Logan Webb and Christopher Sanchez to go up against each other in this situation, with the Phillies, with the new manager. Like Webb needing to step up. He's not been great this year. This is just such a perfect baseball game to analyze and then put a script together. It's plus 1% runs, plus 7% homers, even doubles and triples, minus 5% singles. If I'm going to be sitting there and the rain's going to come in and Webb and Sanchez are going to sit on the bench for 45 minutes or longer, because the rain doesn't stop once it starts at 8. Now it's just light rain at first. So with all that being said, like I just can't. I can't bet that. I'm not. This doesn't work for me. How do you put together a script if the stars of your script could only pitch 2 innings, 3 innings, 4 innings? Like I don't. So I'm going to be off of the spot here, and I'd love, I was interested in unders. I was interested in formulating an opinion about the Giants versus lefties and all this stuff. But who the hell's going to be pitching? Both bullpens being pretty strong, especially the Giants bullpen. So I'm just off the spot, and honestly, they may not go. This game might not go because once it starts raining at 8, it rains all the way through the night into the morning. So I'm off.
Nothing for us here. By the way, I'll quickly mention that Christopher Sanchez does fall into that category of pitcher. Cubs first start on the 13th, 6 innings, 2 earned runs. And then Cubs on 10 days later, 5 1/3, 6 earned runs. Faced the Giants on the 7th of this month. Now facing the Giants again here. It'll be fascinating to see how he handles that. Maybe it's long enough, but we'll see. Cardinals Pirates next on our board here. We have, as I scroll here, Palante versus Bubba Chandler official here. 65% of the bets, 69% of the money on Bubba Chandler here. This line opened up at minus 155 at bet. Wow. I need to refresh here because I just collect minus 155 at Bet Online. Jimmy, this is going to be music to your ears. It's now minus 120 at Bet Online for the Pittsburgh Pirates here. Wow. What do you think about this game, Jimmy?
Well, I've been saying this over and over for the last few starts. You know how big of a fan I was of Bubba Chandler. Something doesn't look right. He just doesn't. I don't know if it's calm. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't look right. I hated that yesterday's game because I thought Bubba Chandler was going to start yesterday's game. They pushed him back to start. They're concerned. And look, I don't like betting overs. First off, I don't like betting overs when there were 17 runs scored in the game before. But I tried to spare trails in the house back in the Marlins. Here, it's going to be a fun game. But here, it's over 8.5 in St. Louis, Pittsburgh at minus 112, and the Cardinals team total over 3.5. I wouldn't be on these bets.
Wow, 3.5?
Yeah,
that's a great number.
Is it not there now?
No, I'm not. I'm not looking at it. I bet the Cardinals money line, but I like that team total as well.
I'm sure it's there. Oh, it's just more juiced now, but it's there. So I have to stick to my guns here. The market. This is not a market I would be betting at all. And again, I'm very hesitant to trust like the eye test and all that stuff. I mean, now we have the numbers to prove Bubba Chandler doesn't look good. I mean, we saw Bubba Chandler come up last year and he was spectacular. 31 strikeouts over 31 and a third, 4 walks. This year he has 21 strikeouts and 16 walks. I mean, come on. Something's not right. He'll figure it out in the minors. And, so I guess, this line, it's only moved 5 cents towards the under. But again, with how many runs we saw yesterday, it does make me a little uncomfortable here. And we don't even have ticket info on the total. But and again, Busch Stadium is not, we're PNC. PNC, Busch Stadium, both are pitchers' parks. The PNC right now it's not bad. Minus 1% runs, minus 17% homers, plus 14% doubles and triples, minus 1% singles. So here I'm just sticking with my plan. Now I'm not that high on Palante either. I don't know how good he is. Last year he had a 5.31 ERA, 1.44 WHIP. He doesn't get strikeouts when you need him to. He walks too many batters. This year 4.26 ERA, 1.42 WHIP. He's got a 5.18 xERA, 20 strikeouts and 14 walks. Look at these guys. These guys combined have 41 strikeouts and 30 walks. I mean, look, it's not rocket science. You don't need to barrel against these guys with the way they're pitching and having difficulty finding the strike zone. I'm on the over 8.5, and I'm on the Cardinals team total over 3.5. So this is my third over on the card. I've only bet 14 overs all season long of like 380 bets. So
how many first fives in there?
That I think that's only my second first 5, but I'll have to double check.
All right. Well, I'm on the Cardinals money line at plus 105. I'm on the Cardinals team total over 3.5 minus 132. That's what I got, Jimmy. And I also I looked. It's not available yet, but I'm going to be on a first 5 team total over for the St. Louis Cardinals as well. Tripling up, do or die for old Jose Bouquet today here, and we'll find out. Next on our board here, we've got Washington Nationals, New York Metropolitans here. We have Cade Cavalli versus David Peterson, 59% of the bets, 56% of the money on Peterson, 89 and 92 on the over in this game. Minus 160 is now minus 154 at Bet Online here, but not a game I'm interested in. I like both pitchers, admittedly, but not trying to choose between the two here. So nothing for me.
Yeah, AM's confidence in Peterson here was something that I sat with for a long time last night and again this morning. And I've got a vividness bias of him pitching very well. We haven't seen that this year. That's why he was, pitching out of the pen there for a minute. And, although the Nats lefty bats are dangerous, and can be nullified by strong left-hand pitching, they're hitting lefties. So, and then we also have some rain in the forecast. Let's just quickly take a look at what that rain is going to do here in New York, which probably shouldn't. Didn't think it was going to be a problem when I was looking at it this morning. And it's light showers during the game. Light showers, light rain, not a big deal. Justin McKelvey on the over, AM on the Mets run line. I'm high enough on Cade Cavalli. I guess I don't really know what we're going to get from start to start. You saw that April 13th when he only went an inning in the third, at the Pirates. Did he bounce back against home versus Giants? Not really. Now, then he had a great start last out versus the Braves. So, but now he's back out on the road. It's tricky. Will Rondo in the house. Great to see you, Will. Fat Wally, too. Fat Wally, it's our week, my man. It's our week. Derby week. So when it's all said and done, I don't feel I listened to the thoughts of AM and he's adamant about it, and in the end it just kind of got me off of action. So nothing for me. Nothing for me in this game, and I'll be watching. I'll be keenly interested in what Cavalli does on the road. Maybe he's just a fade on the road. I'll be interested to see if Peterson is someone that we start backing. What is the Nats weighted runs created versus lefties, and you can pick any time period?
This month they are, and by the way, that's the first of 29 for those keeping track at home. 12th best, 104 weighted runs created plus. If you're interested in the last about 2 weeks, 10 days, they are 23rd, 71 weighted runs created plus, and 103 plate appearances. By the way, 103 plate appearances is 14th most, so that's pretty average, and they are been struggling.
Whew, my man Raven in the desert. Look at that. It's been so long. This is an OG low bagger from my days in Costa Rica. Raven in the desert is great to see you, man. Puts a big smile on my face. Lex Steele says WNBA started the preseason. Did. And AM says it's predicated on David Peterson having elite left-handed hitter splits and Mets bullpen advantage. It's valid. It's all valid. Very valid. I'm off. Let's roll.
Let's roll here. Tigers, Braves next on our slate here. As I got to change the graphics. There we go.
We got speed up. We got speed up.
All right. We have Tarek Skubal versus John Ritchie on the bump here. And I'm a little surprised at how, I wouldn't say cheap, but how low this line is.
Why? I'd say it. It's very cheap for Tarek Skubal.
I mean, minus 140?
It's crazy. And the total climbing enormously.
And I understand the Braves have the best record in baseball or whatever the fuck. They've been great so far to start the season. But again, is Tarek Skubal ever under minus 200 against anyone? So I'm pretty surprised to see this, Jimmy. I'm not going to lie. It obviously puts the radars up and makes me want to back the Braves. But I'll tell you, there's 66% of the bets and 89% of the money on the Braves, allegedly. 88 and 92 on the under. Is this a J.R. Ritchie is going to pitch well? Is this a Tarek Skubal struggles? I'm seeing a juiced over 7.5 opener is now a juiced over 8, and bookmaker even showing an 8.5 here. So I don't know. Maybe this is an over spot here, another rare over. What do you think?
I just think the whole thing's absolutely insane. And I love it, but I find it insane. Just copy and pasting TC's play today on the Braves, Justin McKelvey on the Braves. Look, I'm not lining up to fade Skubal, and he was extremely angry after that last start. Braves are hitting lefties. Ritchie looks like a beast. I've got a ton of action here today. I had no need to push, and I'm not going to push. So I look, this is fascinating. The minus 140 made no sense. Now you can get minus 138 and minus 137. I mean, this is just absolutely wild. And so, yes, clear. I don't even think it's just public. I think it's sharp, too. I think it's public and sharp action on the Braves. And I'm off of it for sure. There's our guy, Jeff Slaughter, in the house. The nightly bag has been laying down this foundation for our success. We're going for our 8th straight winning day, and we need it. So I'm off this spot, Jose. This is a tricky one. Let's roll.
Let's roll on here. I will be watching this game like a hawk, and if it goes over, I will be a little disappointed at myself. But let's go to Diamondbacks Brewers next on our board here. Fascinating series because we've got a Eduardo Rodriguez versus Brandon Sproat matchup here. We have 55% of the bets and 72% of the money on Sproat, 50-50 ticket split on the total, 89% of the money on the over in this game. Line has moved dramatically in the favor of the Milwaukee Brewers. Minus 106 was a minus 113. I should say Milwaukee Brewers now minus 123. It all got up to minus 127. Our friends at Bovado have a minus 130. They opened minus 121 Milwaukee. And bookmaker here showing minus 115 up to minus 120. So not too dramatic as maybe once thought of, but this line definitely has moved at least 5-10 cents in the direction of the Milwaukee Brewers here with, like I said, 55% of the money 55% of the ticket, 72% of the money on the Brewers here.
Yeah, I moved on the Brewers immediately. It was the first of my first two bets that I placed. I moved on the Brewers. I'm a big Sprout believer. I want him at home. I'm surprised that it's minus 123 at Penny full game, minus 120 first five. I guess that means I don't need to double up. I had planned to be on the under 8.5. I wasn't sure that Eduardo Rodriguez was going to pitch today. I know it was his spot turn in the rotation, but he wasn't listed at Bet 365. He's listed now, and the chat was saying that they believed he was going to pitch today, and they're right. And AM on the under 8.5. I don't know what we're going to get from Eduardo Rodriguez. I know we were backing him to start the year, and it worked out well. His last two starts, he's gone 10 innings, 12 hits, 8 earned runs. One came on the road, one came at home versus the Orioles and the White Sox. 7 strikeouts, 7 walks. All of a sudden, things are looking a little more difficult. He got that 2.89 ERA, 1.32 WHIP, but he got a 4.96 xERA. And the longer I sat with it, the more I thought I'm in pretty good shape here. And if I'm on Sprout because I'm betting on, I like Sprout, and then also I think that even though the Brewers have not been hitting lefties, I think that Rodriguez is somewhat susceptible, and that's where I ended. So I'm not going to add the under 8.5 at this point. I don't know if we've got. I mean, it's certainly not moving in the opposite direction. I think that anyone who's on the under can be comfortable. Wine time expecting them both to pitch well. 50% of the tickets, 90% of the cash on the over. Is a surprise. It's not moved at circa 8.5 juice to the over. I know we see the offshores, juice to the under. Bookmaker in a pretty big way at minus 117 to the under. Heritage just barely to the under. So I don't dislike it. I don't think I'm going to move on it because I'm not entirely sure what Rodriguez is going to give us at this point. AM saying Brewers not as good versus left-handed pitching. Yeah, they're not. Their stats are saying that 223, 639 OPS. And AM saying both bullpens have been good of recent. I think they're both going to be good all year. Brewers bullpen didn't get off to a good start. It's just the Brewers for me. It's one-way traffic. I'm not going to sweat out the under here in this one. Let's roll on to our final spot. Let's be tight.
Last spot, A's Royals here. I took a loss last night in extras in this game. Frustrated me. We have Walker versus Severino here in the Sevy room. 58% of the bets on Severino, but 73% of the money on Kansas City. And the Walker heads, 56 and 82 on the over as well. This line has moved 2 cents at Bet Online. Bovada opened up at minus 118. It is now minus 123 there, touching minus 125 at one point.
Plus 15% runs, plus 24% homers, plus 16% doubles and triples, minus 2% singles. My situation here is, you have Severino off a great start and Walker off his first bad start. Severino by far his best start of the season. Walker by far his worst start of the season. So what we're just going to get a zigzag, and Walker's going to pitch better, and Severino's going to pitch poorly. Is Severino going to start stepping up? I mean, they built this room for him. It's the Sevy room. I know that I was supporting him in that first home start. I was like, look, this is his room. He's going to pitch well. And then he got touched up for 4 runs in the first inning, and then didn't allow another one. And then he pitched quite well. And then the next start, he didn't look good at the White Sox. 5 earned runs over 5 in the third. So I just think there's so much unknown. The bullpens are trash. This line's moving towards the over. There's not an angle that I feel comfortable with, so I'm off of the spot.
All right, let's review baseball.
Yes, I cannot wait for the baseball card here. We're trying to get that 8th straight winning day overall. It would be in baseball, but we did have that 1 3-3 day where I lost a tiny bit of vig, so it's not a full baseball spot here. Wearing the flying Chanclas game-worn Jose Bouquet hat here. Let's see if we can
1 of 1
deliver the goods. My MLB card: Rangers first 5, Rangers full game, Brewers full game minus 113, Astros first 5, St. Louis Pittsburgh over 8.5, Cardinals team total over 3.5, Tampa Bay Cleveland first 3 under 2 minus 122, expensive. LA Chicago White Sox first 3 under 2.5, Padres money line at plus 101. It's becoming my favorite bet. Colorado Cincinnati first 5 over 5 here, so I've got 3 overs here. I've only bet 14 all year, and then the Dodgers minus 1.5 on the run line, and then going over all the action. I feel pretty comfortable with my slate. I'm going to stay off that first 3 under 2.5 in the Dodgers Marlins game, and so it looks like there's no additions. The rain's stopping me from the Giants Phillies game, and if there's no additions, this is perfect. Because all I want to do is focus on tomorrow's card as soon as the show's over.
But what's been stopping me is going over all the notes and adding action, wanting more action. This will be the first ever show where I don't have any added action and I can just focus fully on Thursday. This is gonna be great. So no additions for me. My card's out and set. No additions for me. Let's roll.
All right, let's roll here. I quickly will tell you guys I'm on Rangers money line, even money under 8.5 in the Red Sox game. First half money line, first 5 money line, I should say, I guess. For the Red Sox as well, even money. Dodgers -1.5, -105. Under 9.5 in Rockies Reds -120. Cardinals full game money line +105. Cardinals team total over 3.5. And I will hopefully be betting a first 5 team total over on the Cardinals here. Still not available on my book, but we'll get there hopefully later. We roll on.
Let's go 2 minutes a game, Jose, and let's be tight. I'm ready to attack. Let's be tight. Let's roll.
Orlando Magic versus the Detroit Pistons here. We have, as I changed the point spreads here, a 9.5 opener. It's up to 10.5 at some places as well. There are 73% of the bets and 71% of the money on Orlando.
This is perfect. Now, it would be more perfect if this wasn't the one series where I've been struggling. And it is. Franz Wagner is not playing tonight. I know he's listed as questionable, but he's not playing. That's going to hurt them. This was close to a triple up spot until I really kind of sat with it. I want as much time as possible. I'm not against the triple up spot here. Again, I was wrong in games 3 and games 4. And, the Goracle smashed them both. Dutch was absolutely right in game 4, backing the Magic. But I'm Pistons first half, a Pistons full game. Look, Wendell Carter's neutralized Jalen Duren. What can I look? I'm not going to say anything negative about Orlando. They're playing great. If you want to save any negativity, you hammer the Pistons with it. But this is going to be in Detroit City, and this is going to be a smash and grab. So for me, it's clear and simple. I got the 5.5, which I'm comfortable with. Justin McKelvey with me on the 5.5. I don't dislike the first quarter at all. I like it. But for me, it's first half full game. I am on the 5.5, and I think there was some vig. Sorry, let me just pull up exactly. Yeah, -115. It wasn't available at Penny or BOL, I believe, when I bet it. It was only available at 365. So I'm curious to see what if I had waited, would I get a better line here? And let's just see. It is yes, I would have. It would have saved me 4 cents as always. I should just wait for Penny to drop their lines. But here, look, this is. I would be more confident if this was like the Hawks-Knicks series that I've been writing the script for. I've been wrong about this series, which takes away some of my bluster. But this is Detroit first half, Detroit full game, -5.5, -10. I think they win this by 20. If they are down, though, I'm not sure if it's an immediate live bet because something's wrong with them right now. And Cunningham's doing too much and 17 turnovers in the last 2 games, 6.8 turnovers he's averaging. He's having to do too much because the pick and roll with him and Duren is just being stymied by Carter and by others. I think Kane can step in and play good ball with Wagner being out. But Wagner is a good player, really good player. And not having him available for the rest of the series is going to hurt the Pistons. And so... And if they win by 25 here, I don't know if I rush to bet them in game 6 at this point. Like I want to sit with it a little longer because I've read this wrong. But I'm on the Pistons. First half -5.5, -115. Full game -10, -105. Let's get it. And I could have got the 9.5. I could have paid for vig on the 9.5. I think that 10 is fine. So I'm in. Let's roll.
All right. Next game on our board here, as we have to refresh a little bit there. We've got Cavs Raptors here. Now, the line on the screen is not correct. It's a 9 right now. What we're seeing 10 openers here. Drop down a full point to the 9 here. 56% of the bets and 61% of the money is on Cleveland here. Jimmy, are you saying there's a chance? Is the Great and White North going to stand up tonight?
God, I wish if Manuel Quickly was playing. God, it sucks not having him out there, but. I mean, this is a huge number.
I'm curious to see where it closes. It's such a big number. This number was opened up knowing that they were going to get one-way ticket or get a lot more Raptors cash. And this big number makes me want to back the Cavaliers. This has gone from 9.5, dropped down to 8.5 after this line was available for 30 minutes, and it's back up to a 9 over at Circa. 55% of tickets, 56% cash on Cleveland. It's extremely difficult to want to back Spider and Harden after how they looked. I mean, can you imagine that the Raptors win and they went 4 of 30 from 3? Colin Murray Boyles, there's intangibles with him and Barnes that seem to be missing from the Cavs roster. And it's so strange because Mobley and Jared Allen were just so phenomenal last year in the regular season. It's hard to really kind of understand what happened to their dominance. This number is massive, and it makes me want to bet the Cavaliers. Watching the series, I don't know how you can. Justin McKelvey stacks play today. Number 2 Cleveland Cavaliers team total over 112.5. I mean, while we were playing terrible, while we were shooting terrible from 3, so were they. It wasn't like the Cavs were shooting well, But the Raptors missed 14 straight threes to open the game, and we were up at halftime. Something's wrong. 18 turnovers for the Cavs. Now they went 10 of 40 from deep. Manasseh Nate parlaying Cavs second quarter, Pistons second quarter. So, and Wager Tech says Magic are 4-0 against the spread and losses versus playoff teams in this split. It'd be interesting, Wager Detective, if you could look at which of those games was Wagner unavailable for, because he wasn't available for a lot of the year, and they're a different team with him. With all that being said here, I'm very and just like I said, it shows you how shitty Cavs are when they can't even finish these Raptors scrubs. The Raptors have some intangibles that are missing from the Cavs. This big number makes me want to bet the Cavaliers, but watching the series, I can't. If this closes at 9.5, I probably move on the Cavaliers full game, but I probably do. This is probably the buy low spot for the Cavaliers here. And then the Raptors come back and handle business game 6, and we go to a game 7 in Cleveland. So and again, when this line came out, the first thing I thought was, wow, God, how do we not bet the Raptors? And I don't know anyone who's watching the series who wouldn't feel the same way, which makes me want to flip and bet the Cavaliers because the books are putting it a line. So I'm very interested in the Cavaliers. I want to see where this line closes.
All right, let's go to our last basketball game. And everyone loves the Lakers tonight, including our guy, Dutch Boy Fresh. 51% of the bets on the Lakers, 69% of the money on the Lakers. This line moved from a 2.5 to a now -4, 4.5 seemingly to come as well on the Lakers. Jimmy, take it away.
Yeah, I like this spot a lot for the Lakers. Jabari Smith saying obviously we're the better team was, laugh out loud type stuff. KD not coming back is, astonishing here. This is perfect. Rockets destroy the Lakers, smack them in the mouth. We talked about the line functionality and how different this line is from the others. I mean, it's just I really do, Mr. Black Sheep. I'm on the first 3 under 2 at -122, and so the no score in the first inning would be very expensive. So maybe you want to use it as a parlay piece. I don't think you want to bet it individually. So Raven in the Desert with LeBron triple-double. We just know what happens when teams are at home is the role players step up. And what happened in game 4, Lakers shot 5 of 22 from 3, and they just kind of let that game go. And I think they step up here. It's all well and good that Amon and Tari Eason stepped up. That's great. Finally. But it's a little late. And now go do it in enemy territory. So I think the -4 is a nice price. I would prefer, a 2.5 or 3 and AR-15 not playing, but Reeves is expected to return tonight. Raven in the Desert also on Sengun double-double. Sengun's been bad in this series. Now, maybe they get a little bit of confidence after one win, but the season ends tonight. And so this is a comfortable spot for me. And also Lakers -4, -111. I'll be very interested to live bet the Lakers if they're down I'll probably wait till halftime or at least midway through the second, depending on how big they're down. But Lakers for me.
Beautiful. NBA.
Tell me you didn't just say that this Lakers team is not good. Be careful, fellas. I agree. They are not good. If you watch the Rockets through the first 2 games of the playoffs, what's the word for that? Because they were just – they looked like an expansion Grizzlies team would take them out. So let's roll.
NBA review, Jimmy. What do you got?
Lakers for me -4, and then I've doubled down on the Pistons first half and full game. And I really want to see where this line ends up with the Cavs spot. I imagine that the public really hasn't bet yet. You know, they're going to be moving today, and I imagine they're all going to be on the Raptors. So if this does close at 9.5, and let's say we have 65% of the tickets and 68% of cash on the Raptors, and the books are sitting there with 9.5, I find that very appealing for the Cleveland Cavaliers. So I expect to be on the Cavs. I think there's a great buy low spot on them, and you can't believe what you've seen is the issue, because what you've seen was they were terrible in Toronto. So I'm not betting WNBA today, Will, my man. And Jeff says the NBA needs this series go 7 games so they can give their precious Luka more time. Well, Luka needs more time so he can maybe come through halfway through the second round. But Sick from the Fall says wants to join me with Pistons first half. It's just not just me. It's also Justin McKelvey. Let's roll into the National Hockey League, Jose.
National Hockey League. I think the best series in the first round. Tampa Bay Lightning, Montreal Canadiens. A lot of really good series, though, so it's each their own. Tight game, tight line, tight series in this game here. We've got, let's go to money lines here because I'm on puck lines right now. -170 is what I'm seeing here. -170. God, the odds on screens are not updating at all today. But -170 for the Tampa Bay Lightning, -168. Now 2 cents of movement, if anything, towards Montreal, but not much there. What do you think?
And I don't want to rehash everything that we talked about last night here. And you can get the line. The Tampa Bay Lightning line's not moving. I thought that maybe if I waited, I'd get a better line. The line just wasn't moving. It's just sitting there basically -1 at like +100. And my thought process is that the Habs are going to learn a ton from this series. And I think that the Habs will probably be the next Canadian team to win a Stanley Cup, whether that's next year or in 2 years or in 3 years. And they're going to learn from this veteran squad in Tampa Bay Lightning. They're going to learn from Hagel, from Kuch. Dobish has played well. Vasilevsky's not been great. The Lightning are doing this without their captain, without Hedman, which is impressive. I think the Lightning take care of business. If I push this bet, I get it. Justin McKelvey in Lightning in regulation. I kind of want to see the Canadiens step up here. I just don't think we will. And they were phenomenal on the road this year, 24-9-8. They were so good. But this is where veteran leadership steps up. We'll talk about it in the next game. But I'm on Lightning -1. Jose, let's roll.
All right, Flyers, Pittsburgh, another very fun series. Cool. What we might be seeing here with Sidney Crosby locking the fuck in and seeing how this last 2 games potentially could go here. 71% of the bets, 87% of the money on Philadelphia here, Jimmy.
We talk about the veteran leadership, right? And the Penguins are down 3-0, and Crosby was just so calm. The Ducks were up 3-1, and Draisaitl and McDavid are so calm. It's so much fun to watch, and now all of the pressure is on the Flyers. If the Penguins were to lose this game and lose the series 4-2, sure, they'd be disappointed that they lost the series, but they had a great season and they came back and won a couple games. Lucas says Flyers are winning comfortably. This will be the 3rd game in a row that I'm going to cash on the Penguins. I'm not going to be. This is going to be a very close game. I'm on the first period under 1.5, and I'm a little concerned that I'm getting too cute with that bet because it's the same amount of money that I'm betting on the Penguins. I didn't go 1.5 units on the Penguins. Maybe I should. It was important. We talked about. I gave the Oilers as my birthday pick. I'm like, I don't have enough money on them, so I added money on the Oilers, and thank God because we didn't get a chance to bet them live. It was just domination. So I'll pull that up right now, Lex. Here, I'm not sure if it's been updated from yesterday, but I'll pull it up right now. But so I'm on the Penguins here, and this is just, I think it's too much to ask for the Flyers, man. And it's not, the Penguins had been, if you look at the Corsi numbers and the 5-on-5 play, the Penguins are, the better team 5-on-5. And they just weren't getting any bounces. When they were down 3-0, it didn't really make sense that they were down 3-0. And now they've got they got a bounce in game 5. And I expect them to get another bounce or two here because the pressure is not on them. The top 3, let's go top 5. Let's go top 6. Top 6 in the pool. Now, this is not including yesterday's stats. We have Salty Pete in first, and Salty Pete has told us if he wins the pool, then second place will be awarded the $500 Salty bonus. So the Salty bonus is being given out by Pete regardless. Shout out to our guy, Salty Pete. Shout out to Harbor Acres Cottages. Michael Hunter in second with 75 points. The Goracle in third with 74. Kristen Hess in fourth with 73. And Slatsy in fifth with 72. It's heating up. Joseph Gomez says, do we wait for the Flyers to score first in this game? I don't know how much I would want to do that here. 9 Legacy Flyers are similar to the Ducks. The pressure is now on them to close it out. It's not easy. I agree completely. This is very difficult. Shelovs has come in and shown what he did with the Abbotsford Heat. I think this is a great spot. I cannot wait to watch this game. I'm on the first period under 1.5. And yes, I think I will save. I'm not going to put a full unit on it like I've been doing with the Oilers, but I think I will save something to bet. And with the Knights too, I mean, we've been really betting those live spots. I think it'd probably be like a half unit that I would bet live on the Penguins once down. It's not going to be a full unit. Because the Flyers do have the ability to shut things down and to clog up the neutral zone. I don't think there's going to be any ice. The first period under 1.5, I couldn't believe I got it plus money. It was plus 100 at Bet365. It was minus everywhere else. I was like, again, if this was a regular season and this was a game 80 and it meant everything, I would be hammering that first period under 1.5. Let's just see what it is right now, the first period. It's still plus 100. At 365, so it's but Pinnacle had it juiced. Let's just see quickly what they've got for the first period here. The first period under 1.5, minus 103. I think it's a great bet, but you are getting kind of cute with it. But for me, I've doubled up here. First period under 1.5 and the Pittsburgh Penguins. Let's roll on.
All right, last game of our day here: Utah Mammoth, Las Vegas Golden Knights here, and what a fucking game that last one was. Wow. I thought Vegas let it all slip. And then they found a way to win that game and break Stevie Fehrenbach's heart, I'm sure. Shout out to you, Steve.
Picked up plus 240 live.
Oh, my gosh. Nice. Minus 160. 5 is now minus 160 here. Series tied at 2.
Yeah. I don't want the Knights in this situation. I don't want them, and I'm not going to bet the Mammoth. I do not want to bet on these young teams to win crucial hockey games. I never want to. I don't trust Carter Hart. There's a lot that I know that Vegas had gotten off to that lead, but 30 shots on goal over the final 2 regulations periods and overtime. If I was given a free bet, I'd probably bet the Mammoth here. Now, if the Knights go down, I will have interest, at a big number betting the Knights live. But pre-flop with this line, I don't think there's any pressure on Utah at all to come into Vegas and play their best hockey. None. If this was a regular season and it was a huge game like this and the Mammoth had just lost in heartbreaking fashion at home, I would be interested in backing them first period. I'm not going to do that here. I don't want to get cute. We're starting to get hot in the playoffs in NHL, and I want to just keep it going. I don't want the Knights at this price. They're not good enough to demand this price. And now that the Mammoth have nothing, no pressure. I mean, they're playing with the house's money. And now they get to go into Vegas and loosey goose. Let's just play our best hockey. Let's outskate them. I wouldn't be shocked if the Mammoth win this hockey game. If they win this hockey game, I'll be on the Knights in Game 6 in Utah here.
Man, Stevie Fehrenbach, by the way, had 450, 300, and 250. Oh, that sucks. Hate to hear that, Stevie Fee. All right, let's recap our action here, Jimmy. By the way, I have to play this on myself. St. Louis Cardinals, I tripled up that first 5-team total over 1.5 minus 150.
Wow.
Minus 150, and we're still on it.
Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. Huh?
Minus
Gotta pay
150.
Pay the cost to be the boss, Jose.
Hopefully I am the boss and not the fucking dumbass. 3.5 team totals minus 132 and Cardinals money line plus 105. Under 9.5 minus 120. Rockies Reds minus 1.5 for the Dodgers minus 105. Red Sox first 5 even money and full game under 8.5 minus 110. Rangers full game money line even money for me.
This was the first time since we've been going to the 2-a-days that I'm not adding anything, which is a relief. This is great. The struggle of sitting there for 3 hours going over all the notes and with the additions, this is great. I feel very good about this. 11 bets in Major League Baseball. Rangers first 5, Rangers full game, going up against the youngster Elmer. Brewers money line minus 113. Astros first 5 minus 108. St. Louis Pittsburgh over 8.5 minus 112. Cardinals team total over 3.5 minus 128. Tampa Bay Cleveland first 3 under 2 at minus 122. Angels White Sox first 3 under 2.5 minus 115. Padres plus 101. Colorado Cincinnati first 5 over 5 minus 120. And the Dodgers minus 1.5 at minus 101. For the NBA, Detroit first half minus 5.5. Detroit full game minus 10. And the Lakers minus 4. In the National Hockey League, Tampa Bay minus 1 at minus 102. Pittsburgh money line plus 108. Pittsburgh, Philadelphia first period under 1.5 at plus 100. And I'm pumped up. We're going for our 8th straight winning day. And I need double digits. I need to keep this going. And we haven't had these massive days. Like even yesterday, 12 and 8 plus 3.15 units. Sign me up. I want it. And I'm pumped up about this card. Pumped up about tomorrow's shows. I'm pumped up about Dutch Boy Fresh and Dabby Cab 5 days a week over at Pub Culture TV. That starts off in 23 minutes. Locker Room Talk podcast, UFC video out. Check it out. It'll be our main video on our Pub Sports Radio homepage throughout the week. We also, of course, have it's UFC Perth. So it's a lot of great fights, and we'll have our live stream on Saturday. Then we have Closing Line with Mr. Peter Loshak at 5 p.m. And then I'll be back in business at 10 p.m. This evening. So here we go. Spooner says, great work, Jose and Jimmy. Hopefully Elmer doesn't shove for both of your sakes. And we've just had a 15-cent move towards the under in Arizona, Milwaukee. Steve Fehrenbach says attack live overs in Vegas, Utah. Been catching nonstop. It is strange that it's juiced to the under, Steve. That did throw me for a bit of a loop, as if the Knights are going to play a very, very strict, tight playoff type hockey game at home here to try to neutralize the speed of the young Mammoth. But that's our show for today. Thank you, guys. Let's go over action here from our cappers in the chat. We have nothing without you guys, so thank you for sending in your plays of the day. Matty Ice Taint play today is the Dodgers run line. Zane Cole has a 2-legger for us. White Sox plus 1.5 and Dodgers money line. Put that together plus 129. Stacks play day number 1. Yonder Alvarez 2+ bases at minus 105. Then the Cavaliers team total over 112.5 minus 120. The Gamma Ray play of the day is Red Sox first 5 from the Nuke Worker, Jose, backing Bayo.
Me and Peep all together.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and you know what he would say? How can you not love Jose? That's what he would say. We have 9 legacy on the Orlando Magic plus 10 and the Raptors plus 8.5 there. And just my 2 cents play today is the Braves at plus 122. Spooner said if he was going to tail one bet and any juice under 200, what would it be? I think the best bet on the board is the first period under 1.5 in Philadelphia, Pittsburgh. It scares me to say it because of what happened last night being on the Bruins first period and losing, and they win the game. But I don't think there's any ice at all. And if a puck goes in, I think it's a bounce, around the front of the net. You have the Flyers power play at 13.3% and the Penguins power play at 17.6%. The Flyers had the worst power play in the National Hockey League to start the year. There's so much on the line. There's going to be so intense. There can't be any stick penalties or talk it's going to, hurt you in between periods. So that's probably my favorite bet on the board is the first period under 1.5 in Philadelphia, Pittsburgh.
And Steve says, great day to make 10 units. Let's go get it. Thank you guys. Spooner, Steve Fehrenbach, AOD, Lucky Power, Nicholas Handy. So great to see Raven in the Desert in the house. It's I can't wait till everybody rocks with watches Raven in the Desert cook in college basketball. Robert Franklin, thank you. Redman, Lex Steele, Will Rondo. Will Rondo, good luck with your action tonight. Hammering the WNBA. Go get it. Justin McKelvey, Luca says the Flyers are winning comfortably tonight. There's nothing wrong with us seeing it differently. It's part of the fun here. Robert Franklin also with him on Flyers money line here. And that is our show for today. Colin Gregory betting the Habs and Mammoth says one of those big dogs win. I think Mammoth have the better chance here, kind of playing pressure free. Johnny Redbeard, sick from the fall. Polo that on Bronny, 5+ points at plus 430. Says hit last 2 games. There's another OG low bagger in the house. Go over to Pub Culture TV and watch our guys, Stabby Cab and Dutch Boy Fresh Cook. Jose, could you please bless our action and lead us into the future?
You say 4+ points at plus 230?
5+ points at plus 430. Cashed it back to back.
Oh, fuck. That's a great bet. That's a great bet right there. I respect the fuck out of that. I so much so I want to bet that bad. I might be sending a few text messages to my buddies now after that. That is fucking hilarious. Shout out to you guys all in the chat. The sesh starting here in about 20-ish minutes. So get on over there to Pub Culture TV. Get in there. Let's go make some money tonight because we got a lot of action. And let's make that money tonight. Leche, Los Bookmaker.
It's easier to sleep in the black. When you're losing your ass and feeling so, you know what to do. Tune in to Pub Sports Radio. Easier to sleep in the black. It's easier to sleep in the black. It's a roller coaster ride, you're gonna catch a bad beat. No problem, keep your head up and just bet the spreadsheet. It's easier to sleep in the black. It's easier to sleep in the black. All thanks to Jeff Slaughter, these shows have our backs. POD's always rolling, especially the stats. Easier to sleep in the black. It's easier to sleep in the black. We got Jimmy, Jose, Dabby and the fam, Dutch Wine Time, Spooner and OG Wham. So hit the like button, don't say that you can't. If you know what's best, just put your money on tape.